Hi guys and girls, Clay from Australian Survivalism here, talking to you today about a few basic necessities when it comes to water procurement. So, let's get to it. Okay, so the 5 priorities of survival, and these are in no particular order. Water, shelter, food, fire, and look, some people have different points of view on what the 5th one is. I say that it's first aid. Some others say that it's security, and it depends on the situation you're in, I suppose. I don't see much of a need for security for a lost in the bush situation, whereas first aid I think would take that priority. But some of the basics, some of the old school techniques for obtaining clean drinking water are often the best. One of the main items that you require, that I take out in the bush all the time with me, is a stainless steel water bottle, or an aluminium water bottle. Ideally steel, to boil water and kill any parasites and bacteria that's left in the water after you've strained it through your cotton cloth. Straining all of the larger particulates out of the water and getting it into your stainless steel or your aluminium water bottle and boiling that on the fire will generally give you relatively clean drinking water. It's not going to take out heavy metals or chemicals, but if it's a relatively clean water source, even muddy water, as long as it hasn't got chemicals or heavy metals or anything in it, you'll be fine with basically those 2 items, and a fire, of course. Old school, still on old school, a 2 by 2 meter plastic, thick, opaque or clear plastic sheet for a solar still. Now this method is quite slow. However, if you don't have anything else and all you've got is sunlight and a bit of moisture and your plastic sheet, you'll still be able to get some water throughout the day. Old school again, a 2 by 2 meter plastic bag, relatively thick plastic, to use as a transpiration method of procuring clean water. You can put this over a tree branch and zip tie it up, as long as it's a sunny day. Well, actually, it doesn't even really need to be a sunny day. It'll still work on a cloudy day, but you will get some water from this method as well. Depending on the type of tree you use, you need to make sure that it's not a poisonous tree. If you put it over a eucalypt, your water will generally have a eucalyptus kind of flavour to it. So between those 3 different methods, you'd generally be able to get, you'll be able to survive. Now, they're not all of the techniques that I've used. I've used like improvised charcoal water filters out in the bush. Now I'll add a link to that video in the description down the bottom here, and I'll show you how to make one of those. Down the bottom here, I think somewhere in the description, if you tap the drop box. Now on to the more modern methods of clean water procurement. I've used these puppies I don't know how many times out in the forest, out in the bush, and they are absolutely fantastic. You can you can use this in conjunction with this method without even having to boil the water. So if you've got a dirty water source and you've got your your cotton bandana, this is my hunting face shield, but it can double as a water filtration device, basic water filtration device. Now if I scoop up some water from a dirty source, excuse me, sorry, one end of the shot there, but there we go. So scooping up the water, filling this water bottle with dirty water, but all of the larger particulates being taken out by the cotton cloth. Dirty water, muddy water in here. You can pop the life straw in and just drink that dirty water, because it won't be dirty by the time it gets to here. It'll be perfectly clean drinking water for you. And that negates, well, you don't need a fire when you've got one of these. With those two, you'll be fine. Okay, so on the same type of filtration, we've got a Sawyer Mini, which is absolutely fantastic as well. These little puppies come with a threaded end on them, so you can put them on basically any drinking water bottle that you might find out in the bush, or you probably have in your backpack. Same sort of situation. You can put that in the end here and suck on the end, and you've got perfectly clean drinking water. All of this stuff should be, or all of the old school methods should be in your hunting pack or your bug out bag or your inch bag, or if you're not coming home, then you want to be able to procure water in as many different methods as you possibly can. Now, this little puppy comes everywhere with me. I know it as a Vandal tap handle, but I think it's known as a kinetic handle as well. You'll notice when you go to the parks these days, or when you go anywhere in a public space, the taps generally don't have the handle on them anymore. But that gives you a key for just about every locking mechanism that your council would use on taps these days. So that goes with me everywhere in my EDC. So if I need to wash my hands, or clean something up with some water, I have the ability to do that while the grid's still up. I mean, if the grid was down, then taps are probably not going to keep flowing, but I can go to a stream or any dirty water source and get clean drinking water for myself and my family. And you'll be surprised how many people out there don't know even one of these methods, or that some of these products even exist. All of this stuff stays with me in my bug out bags. I think I mentioned that before. Also, this is a really cheap way of like carrying your water. If you don't have a like a camelback or something of the likes, or a large water container, this is just a water bladder out of a 4 litre water box that I bought from Woolies. Now, I emptied the water out of it. Obviously I used it all, and I scavenged the bladder, and you can pull these caps off with a little bit of oomph, and you can fill that. You can let's say, improvised, grab a plastic water bottle, screw your Sawyer Mini onto the end. Well, grab a plastic water bottle, fill it full of relatively dirty water, screw your Sawyer Mini on the end, undo the cap, and turn it upside down, and your water will obviously fill that bladder. When you're done, put the cap back on, and it's ready to go. You should be able to get about 4 litres in there. You might not be able to fill it all the way up, but you might get 3 litres or so, and you can put that in your backpack and off you go. Be reminded that however, whatever the literage of water that you're going to be carrying equates to around a kilo as well. So if you're carrying 3 litres of water, it equates to around 3 extra kilograms. So these methods here, especially these quick to go methods, if you're out of water, this is great. Obviously you can get some on the go. These methods, old school methods, require you to be basically staying put, at least for a little while anyway. Now, aside from that, I mean, on my bug out bag here, my hunting pack, I've got a camelback in the back of my bug out bag, in the back here, wherever it is. So that's a 3 litre camelback as well. So number one priority of survival being water in this country anyway, and secondly for me would be shelter. And by shelter I mean your first defence against the harsh Australian climate, against the harsh Australian climate is, your clothing. But soon after water, we've got shelter. I'll do that in the next video and show you guys what I carry shelter-wise in my bug-out bag and my inch bag. So hopefully that gives you a good overview on what you should have at least when you go out into the bush, or if you are going to bug out and the grid goes down. And these are your basics of preparedness. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys and girls. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, share. Clay out.